Hey everybody, it's me Lone, back with a Flight 76 video, and before I get started, as you can see, I'm using a new microphone in today's video. This is the Rode NT1 condenser microphone, as opposed to my previous Procaster dynamic microphone, and the awesome folks at Rode sent me this as well, so thank you so much to them, and I just wanted to see how this one sounds compared to my previous microphone, so let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this mic, and also generally the audio quality in this video. I'd really appreciate your thoughts. So today we're going to be talking about the Hellstorm Missile Launcher in the game. This is a gun that's on sale right now at Minerva's shop, and what I want to do in today's video is tell you everything you need to know about this gun, including its mods, a suggested build, and also show you how it operates against some high level enemies in the game. So if you enjoy this video, if it helps, please like it, I would really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, with notifications if you can, and with that out of the way, let's get to the content. Alrighty, we are just outside of Foundation, as you can see, and this is where Minerva has set up a shop for the week. And when we open up her trade menu, we can see the Hellstorm Missile Launcher be on sale for 2,000 Gold Bullion. Now, this is otherwise available as a drop in Daily Ops. It's a rare drop though, so some of you might not have it already. But if you don't, you can simply purchase it from her this week. Though 2,000 Gold Bullion is not a small amount of Gold Bullion, so hopefully this video can help you to determine whether this is a worthwhile purchase for you and your character. So let's get to my camp and we can cover the mods for this gun. Alrighty, we're at my camp and let's take a look at the mods available for the Hellstorm Missile Launcher. As usual, if you want these for your own gun, you're going to have to buy them from Regs at Vault 79, which means you need to have completed Wastanders and have some Gold Bullion as well. Though I will say, these aren't really guns that benefit that much from being fully modded, and I'll explain why in a second. When it comes to this video, we're going to be showing off three different legendary Hellstorm Missile Launchers. We have an anti-armor one, a bloodied one, and a two-shot one, and all of these have the additional prefix where they deal plus 25% damage while aiming. And also as well, we're going to be using a low health build to get max damage out of that, plus we'll be in power armor so we can utilize the stabilized perk card to avoid some armor when it comes to our enemies, because yes, these are technically considered heavy guns as well as explosive guns. Now, usually in these videos, I tend to say that anti-armor generally performs better against boss enemies, bloodied tends to perform better against general mobs, and two-shot usually is below both of these in terms of their performance, but not so much when it comes to the Hellstorm. When it comes to the Hellstorm and other explosive weapons like the general missile launcher in the game, two-shot is actually preferable just because of the way the two-shot effect applies to the explosive damage that is caused after your bullet lands on an enemy. So as you can see, the two-shot weapon here has higher damage per shot than the bloodied one, which typically doesn't happen. Typically on paper, bloodied usually has higher damage. But again, with the Hellstorm Missile Launcher, two-shot is the preferred legendary effect, and it does have higher damage on paper than bloodied. So that's what you want to be aiming towards if you want to roll some legendaries for the Hellstorm Missile Launcher. But again, we'll be testing all of these, and they're all going to serve you well. Don't get me wrong. You know, it's a decent weapon against general mobs. Maybe not so much against, you know, boss enemies, especially the Scorch Beast Queen, because she's so highly resistant to explosive damage. But again, we'll be testing these guns in the video. In terms of the mods available, really it's two. It's a scope and a barrel. The scope, it's all down to preference. If you want a night vision scope, or if you want a recon scope with tracking, or even just using the standard sights, you technically get more accuracy and better magnification when it comes to these two scopes. But it's all really up to you which one you want to use. I'm just going to be using the recon scope in today's video. Plus, I do recommend you use VATS a lot when it comes to these guns, and you're not really getting much benefit when it comes to the scope and also VATS, so keep that in mind. With the barrel, this is where the real decision comes into it. So you've got a cryo payload barrel, enhanced blast payload, napalm, and also plasma, plus the standard barrel. Now, from what I see from people's discussions on Reddit particularly, the standard barrel seems to be the most preferred and actually performs better than the other ones. Plus as well, when you come to something like the cryo, you're getting splash damage, which can kill you very, very quickly, as I've talked about in the past when it comes to cryo damage in the game. So yeah, be very careful when it comes to the cryo one. As you can see, the damage is split from, you know, physical and also the elemental damage. So cryo for this one, obviously, fire for this one, and energy for this one. But even just on paper, the standard barrel has so much more damage, and I think that's generally why it performs a little bit better, plus some other factors like the resistance of enemies in the game. There is another barrel here if you're interested. It's called the Enhanced Blast Payload, and in exchange for a decrease in some damage, you can actually have an additional 2 missiles in your gun, So it's an increase from 4 to 6. Not that much, but if you want to reload less, yes, you technically can use this one, but you will be dealing with less damage. So pick one, but for today, we're going to be using the standard barrel because that's what people agree that is the best, at least from what I see anyways. So let's have a look at the build that I'll be using for today's video. As I said, we'll be in power armor, so let me hop into my trusty excavator power armor. I made a video on this recently. I believe this is the best in the game, not in terms of stats, but because you have so much carry weight with this. But yeah, we'll be in our excavator for today. And just opening up the build. So I don't have any legendary special perk cards, by the way, boosting my special perk points. So this is literally the base amount of perk points that you can have, because I wanted to show you a build that you could replicate if you didn't use those legendary perk cards. So 15 strength, 3 perception, 3 endurance, 4 charisma, 11 intelligence, 11 agility, and 9 in luck. When it comes to strength, we have lock and load because, again, this is a heavy gun a weapon in the game. So I want to reload faster when it comes to the Hellstorm, especially because it only has 4 missiles in the gun. Then we have expert heavy gunner, and master heavy gunner, boosting the damage even more. And ordnance express, because this uses missiles, obviously, and they weigh so damn much. You absolutely need ordnance express. Trust me, otherwise it's just not a viable build to be using all the time, especially if you want to carry around a decent amount of ammunition. Now, when it comes to perception, I'm using Grenadier. I don't know how much of an effect Grenadier has against or with the Hellstorm Missile Launcher, but because of the recent change with Grenadier, I'm just going to have it just in case anyways. And then we have concentrated fire, because when you're able to target the head against enemies, like super mutants for instance, you're able to deal one-shot kills to them, even if they're level 100, compared to, like, you know, body shots or leg shots, sorry. So yeah, make sure that you have concentrated fire and try to utilize VATS when it comes to this gun as much as you can. Endurance, make sure to have fireproof, because otherwise you might actually die from the explosive splash damage when it comes to using this gun up close against enemies. So yeah, I would suggest that you use fireproof. Charisma, tenderizer, more damage, obviously. Stranger numbers if you want to be in a team with other teammates that are mutated. Intelligence, Nerd Rage, obviously, more damage at low health. Stabilize, as I mentioned before, we're in power armor, so I want to avoid some more armor. And also it gives you great accuracy with this gun as well, so that's a nice bonus. Demolition Expert, again, it is a explosive gun as well as a heavy gun, so Demolition Expert is going to increase your damage even more. With agility, I have Action Boy because I'm in power armor, so I want to generate my AP a little bit faster. Adrenaline, I'm going to be taking this off for now, but usually I would use adrenaline to ensure that I'm doing even more damage in a fight, but I want to make sure that the fight is, or the comparison is fair between the anti-armor, the bloodied, and the 2-shot, so we're not getting any unfair boost in damage. And then I do have Dodgy, because this is going to help you stay alive, especially, again, because of splash damage with this gun. You might die if you don't have Dodgy as well. In terms of luck, Bloody mess, sorry, so we have more damage. Starch genes, obviously, for your mutations. Better criticals, so we can see how good criticals can be with this gun. And class freak just as 1, because I had 1 spare. In terms of the legendary perk cards, these are all pretty important, I would say. Taking one for the team if you're playing in a team, so you can deal more damage. Electric absorption when you're in power armor, so you're getting healed by energy attacks. Sizzling style, I just have because fire resistance is nice sometimes. Power Sprinter, so I can run a little bit more in power armor. Power armor reboot, just in case I do die in my power armor. This is really nice just to kind of quickly revive you. And then far-flung fireworks, not that important, but I just want to see how it works with this gun. So yeah, these are the legendary perk cards that I suggest. In terms of my other parts of the build, so very quickly, here are the mutations that I have. Again, pretty stock standard, low health build in the game. Main one being adrenal reaction to get you even more energy damage. And probably the other main one is when it comes to my torso, I'm using emergency protocols. 100% you need to use this as a low health power armor build in the game. I know jetpacks are fun, but emergency protocols really is where it's at to give you even more kind of survivability as a low health build. So that covers the build for this gun. So let's go to West Tech and see how it performs against some level 100 super mutants. Alrighty, we're at West Tech and let's see how these guns go against some level 100 super mutants. Now keep in mind, I've done a few things. I've removed the Far-Flung Fireworks legendary perk card because it was proccing with certain enemies and not others, and I wanted to make sure again that it was a fair fight between all these guns. Also as well, I've removed the taking one for the team legendary perk card because that was also proccing only with some enemies and not others. It depends whether they hit you or not. So I just want to make sure that it's a completely fair fight. When it comes to the regular perk cards, I need to take off Grenadier. When you're using it in a small space like West Tech, you can die from the splash damage so easily, even if you have fireproof and dodgy. So I'm going to remove Grenadier. So what I would suggest to you, use that when you're outside. Fine, totally fine. When you're in a building and you're in a small space, make sure you remove Grenadier because it's probably going to do more harm than good. And also as well, I just want to showcase VATS a little bit easier. So I want to take off Dodgy because Dodgy makes VATS harder to use. There are some important differences when it comes to these Hellstorm Missile Launchers inside of VATS. We're going to start off with the anti-armor and then we'll go with Bloodied and 2-shot. Now you're going to find with the anti-armor that it only really gets a 1-shot if you're getting a headshot against these enemies. So I'll show you that when it lands because as you know, hold on, no, Dodgy wasn't on. I thought it was on for a second. As you know, VATS can be temperamental sometimes, on good days even. Let's try a headshot against this dude. So there you go. That was a 1-shot when it comes to that enemy, but obviously when you're targeting the head in VATS, you're going to miss a lot, like especially with the Hellstorm Missile Launcher. Sometimes even when you're up close, those shots just aren't landing. So to have to use a headshot to get a 1-shot kill with the anti-armor obviously means it's not as good. So that's the one downside with this thing. You're going to need to get 2 shots on it in most circumstances to kill it. So I'll show you against the torso. You know what? Let's go here. Torso against this dude. So as you see, it's not a 1-shot. It leaves it with about 25% health, I would say, around there anyways. This guy got splash damage too. Someone's going to shoot him and kill him. So, oh, there's a legendary here. Doesn't really matter anyways. Just die. I'm surprised I didn't die from that. I'm very surprised I didn't die from that. It's another downside with the Hellstorm because in these spaces especially, that splash damage can be killer. Alrighty, so we've done the torso. Let's try the leg. And as you can see, the leg is about the same as the torso. Again, you're not getting the 1-shot. It's about 25% health left when it comes to these enemies at least. So that's how the anti-armor works. So it's okay. It would probably perform better against boss enemies. Maybe not the Scorch Beast Queen with a high, resistance to explosives. But it does okay. But let's move to Bloodied. Now, even Bloodied, you're going to find, obviously, it's going to get a 1-shot on the head, and I'll show that to you. But it still doesn't get a 1-shot on leg shots and also torso shots. So let's have a look. We're going to have to go over here. So we'll do the headshot first. First of all, let me get rid of these hounds because they are pissing me off. They're going to come up and rush me. All right, let's try the headshot with this guy first. And VATS is going to do VATS, but as you can see, that was a 1-shot with that super unit. When it lands, again, the downside is you're going to miss a lot in VATS when it comes to headshots. So let's move on to the torso. It's usually a guy here, right? Yeah. Oh, it's going to do splash damage. Doesn't matter. So the torso is not going to kill this guy, but it does a little bit more damage than anti-armor. As you can see, it's a what would you call that? I don't know, 15%, 10% health left. A bit more than anti-armor, but not enough to 1-shot it when you do it to the torso. That guy's not hurt. Good. And the same goes with the leg as well. So I'll do the leg, and again, it's not a 1-shot with Bloodied. So you're getting the 1-shot, like with the anti-armor, at the head, but not with a torso shot and not with a leg shot. So that's why the anti-armor and Bloodied is probably not preferred when it comes to the Hellstorm. So now with this guy, let's use the 2-shot. Now, obviously with the 2-shot, it's going to do a 1-shot with the head, so I'm not going to bother with that because it is higher damage than Bloodied. But I want to show you against the torso to see how the 2-shot does. As you can see, it's a 1-shot. So definitely, if you're using the Hellstorm Missile Launcher, you want a 2-shot, especially against general mobs, because you're going to get that guaranteed 1-shot against the torso, and the torso has way better hit chance in VATS. Like you're more guaranteed than a headshot a lot of the times. VATS isn't always guaranteed. Sometimes you can just keep missing for no reason at all. But for the most part, if you're aiming for the torso, you're going to pretty much guarantee those shots. But even then, like you see, that was a weird situation where there was a wall there and I didn't get the 1-shot. And usually I should. Hold up. These bloody hounds, man. And now I have radworms. Great. There we go. All right. So let's try against the super mutant again up here. So level 100, dude. Torso. Oh, I don't have any VATs. Great. They both died at least. But yeah, I'm going to leave this in because that is the downside with using the Hellstorm in buildings. It's important for you to know they both died. So that little kind of glitch that I had against that other hound not dying from the one shot, that was just a one-off thing. So yeah, you're still getting the one shots with the torso. Now I've tried with the leg with this thing, with the two shots specifically. Hold on, am I bloodied right now? All right, there we go. Now, sometimes I wasn't getting a one shot in the leg with the two shot Hellstorm. So I'll see if I can get that here. So that is a one shot there. But for some reason before, I wasn't getting the guaranteed one shot when I was shooting the legs of these super mutants. That is another one shot there. So I guess it can still be a one shot when you're aiming for the legs. Let's try again just to see if I can reproduce that. See, there you go. See, did you see that? That wasn't a one shot when it comes to that enemy. So for whatever reason, sometimes leg shots aren't guaranteed one shots. And I think it was one of those weird situations with that pillar being there, not dealing the full amount of damage like against that hound before. So sometimes it is a little bit funny, this Hellstorm Missile Launcher, sorry. I'll go back to the torso just to see. So the torso is a one shot there. I've not found that the torso ever failed against doing a one shot. It usually does a one shot for me. So let's just kill this dude. That guy died as well. So there are some fun situations with this gun where you can actually get 2 kills in one, which is nice. But being in West Tech with this thing, it's just so deadly. Like, I had to take off Grenadier. I probably should keep on Dodgy to help me survive even more, but that's actually not helping that much. I'll do a headshot just so you can see. See, I died again, but obviously a headshot's doing the damage. So it's a risky weapon. It's a very, very risky weapon, and I'm gonna leave these deaths in here because it does prove a point. When you're using the Hellstorm in areas like West Tech, it's incredibly dangerous to you, and to be honest, probably not worth it. It's something that you should be using outside, and what I want to do now is see how it goes against the Super Mutant Behemoth, just to see how it operates against some sort of boss enemy, and then we'll end the video. Alrighty, we're here at Solomon's Pond, and let's see how we go against the Super Mutant Behemoth here. I brought back all the perk cards, so we're using the proper build, because we can see that 2-shot is definitely the best with this gun. So let's see how we go against this thing, and I'm just going to shoot for the torso, because I don't want to miss shots, and I am going to use crits now as well, so we can guarantee some shots. So maybe I use a crit against the head, because it's guaranteed. You know what, it's guaranteed, so let's see how the crit headshot does. Alright, you ready? Oh my god, I was swimming. That was so anticlimactic. Go. See, it was okay? It was okay? It's still alive there, so someone else is shooting at it, I think. No. It's doing alright. Like, I can't see this performing that well against the Scorch. Obviously, the Scorch Beast Queen has high explosive resistance, so you need to keep that in mind as well. But even against, like, the Milo Queen, you know what, let's go to the Milo Queen. I want to see how this thing operates against that before I make my final conclusion. Alrighty, last test, Milo Queen. Let's see how we go. I'm going to shoot these Milorks as well to see what we do against them. I think they have pretty good resistance as well to explosives. So these Milo Kings definitely aren't getting one-shotted, especially with torso shots. See, they're really resisting the Hellstorm, man. So, like, yeah, decent against super mutants, but against these insects, or these creatures, sorry. Yeah, I don't know, man. See, VATS is almost necessary with this thing. You get some splash damage, I think. Oh, did that guy die as well? Nice, alright. These are Milo Kings, by the way, so, like, obviously, here, this guy's gonna die in one shot. Should any? Oh, he's almost dead anyway. Boom, alright. Let's see how we go against the Milo Queen. This is going to be an interesting test. I also don't have poison resistance, so you know what, we're just going to shoot, and she should be there. Alright, come on, Queenie. I don't have any VATs left. It does okay. It does okay. Oh my god. Poison damage. Poison damage. I'm not going to be able to use VATS. Yeah, it's doing all right. Like, it's obviously not the best gun out there. It's got its downsides with splash damage, and sometimes like it's really hard to aim with this thing outside of VATS. Because like your bullets can just like poof, go, and then it's not landing anywhere. Like you can kill a Milo Queen with it, but I've killed it way faster with other guns, with other heavy guns in particular. So my conclusion about this gun is that I think it's fun to use if you just want to experiment with it, if you want to roleplay with it. It's very, very dangerous in close quarters scenarios, especially at West Tech and other areas like that. It does fight against super mutants, especially if you have 2-shot. Against some other enemies, maybe not so much. And the way it performed against the Milo Queen and the super mutant behemoth, like I couldn't just recommend that you use this gun as your main. It's something that you use when you want to have a bit of fun. And if it performed like that against the Milo Queen and also the super mutant behemoth, I can't see how well it's going to perform against Earl Williams or the Scorch Beast Queen. So yeah, that's my kind of conclusion. Use it if you want to have a little bit of fun, but if you're really strapped on Gold Bullion, maybe this is something that you buy later, or just wait for a daily up drop in the game. So those are my thoughts, and let's get to the conclusion of the video. Alrighty, Wasteenders, that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.